All right. Thanks for checking this out with me. This caught my attention. Trail camera caught rare animal not seen since the 1990s in Australian wilderness. So yeah, let's check it out. Published on May 12th, 2026 at 11:30 a.m. by Rania Hadid. A rare animal has been filmed in Australia's Kosciuszko National Park for the first time in decades, giving scientists renewed hope for the species' survival. A hidden wildlife camera in Kosciuszko Park, in KO Park, National Park, has captured extraordinary footage of a long-footed potoroo. I feel like is that the big bird? Is that the great potoroo? No, I don't know. There's a giant bird that was a meme a long time ago, and it was like sitting on a tree above a electrical wire, but it was like the size of a car, and everyone freaked out for a while because this was before AI videos and art and all that nonsense. So a critically endangered marsupial. Yeah, I am not thinking of the right thing. I don't know what a potoroo is. Marsupial that had not been recorded in the region since the 1990s. The discovery, highlighted by the NSW, New South Wales Government Office of Environment and Heritage, is being viewed as a major breakthrough for Australian conservation efforts and a rare sign of recovery for one of the country's most elusive mammals. Which I'm kind of surprised because didn't like half of Australia burn down 2 years ago? So to have this thing actually survive and be able to flourish, well, not flourish, but be able to survive it and not have any lasting effects makes me think that there's a lot more out there. They're just hidden. And they know how to avoid issues because if they could survive the fires, then I don't think there's going to be too much of a problem for them. So hidden cameras captured a moment scientists never expected to see again. Deep inside the dense forest of southeastern Australia, researchers had been monitoring wildlife activity using remotely triggered trail cameras placed throughout the remote sections of KO National Park. The devices were originally intended to track animal movement and assess ecosystem recovery in areas impacted by invasive predators and habitat disruption. One quiet night, one camera recorded a small nocturnal animal moving carefully toward the darkness before briefly pausing in an open clearing. The footage revealed unmistakable features: a pointed snout, compact body, and nearly hairless tail. So, long-footed potoroo. All right, let's grab Grok and see if he can show me what a long-footed potoroo is, because I'm curious. Potoroo. Can you give me a picture? Are they allowed to give me a picture? What's a picture look like? That's not. No. All right. I'm going here. There should be a picture somewhere. No. Images in movies. Here we go. Oh my god, it's like a tiny little rat. That's not what I expected. When I think of Longfoot, I think of like, I don't know. I think of like, not that. That's like a, I don't know, like a fat house mouse. It's like you took a house mouse, the appendages of a house mouse, but mixed it with the body of a rat. So everything's tiny, except it's feet apparently. I don't know. That's why I'm not an expert. I just like to read about them. The findings stunned researchers because the species had effectively disappeared from the. I can see why this thing could survive. It looks like it burrows underground without an issue. So, wildlife experts feared local populations may have collapsed entirely due to habitat fragmentation, bushfires, logging pressures, and attacks from fellow predators such as foxes and cats. The rediscovery instantly transformed what appeared to be an ordinary monitoring operation into one of the most significant conservation moments in the state in recent years. The animal itself moved naturally through the forest, unaware that had just reignited hope for the future of its species. All right, so let's see. Oh, that's nice. That's kind of loud. Oh, I like it. Yeah, that. Oh, my foot. I get it. I see it. Look at that foot. Oh yeah, that's definitely a long foot. That makes sense. That now that little guy had a long foot. According to the New South Wales Government Office of Environment and Heritage, the long-footed potoroo is roughly the size of a rabbit and survives mainly in moist forest environments rich in underground fungi. While small and rarely seen, the species plays a major ecological role in maintaining healthy forest systems. The marsupial spends much of its time digging through leaf litter and soil in search of fungi, turning over large amounts of earth in the process. Yeah, so it's they're like little groundhogs. I think that's what they're called here. But they like dig stuff up and shift soil around to make it so seeds can grow better, I guess. Aerate the soil, yeah, so keeps it from turning into a compact layer of clay or something. I'm not 100%. I just know if you have a whole layer of clay, no water gets through almost because it's like a sealant, so maybe they help remove that element. But scientists often describe poturos as natural ecosystem engineers because their feeding behavior directly improves soil quality and contributes to forest resilience. Without animals like these, underground fungal networks can decline, affecting the health of trees and other vegetation that depend on those symbiotic relationships. Underground fungal networks. I can only think of the great Erd tree, Elden Ring, underneath Australia, which kind of makes sense. Australia is pretty wild. No one ever knows what's going to happen over there. The disappearance of the species from many forests across Australia raised concerns not only for biodiversity but for broader ecosystem stability as well. The rediscovery in KO National Park suggests that at least part of the habitat still supports the conditions needed for the species to survive. Researchers are now examining whether the sighting represents a small isolated survivor or evidence of a larger hidden population living within protected forest areas. Either possibility carries major implications for conservation planning across the region. Conservation efforts may finally be delivering results. The reappearance of the species is being interpreted as an encouraging sign that years of conservation work may be beginning to show measurable success. Across parts of New South Wales, wildlife agencies have increased predator control programs, restored habitat corridors, and strengthened monitoring operations aimed at protecting vulnerable native species. These efforts were intensified after devastating bushfire seasons placed enormous pressure on already fragile wildlife populations. This important discovery of the long-footed potoroo is a promising sign for the long-term survivability of the critically endangered species. Environment Minister Penny Sharp told Yahoo News her statement reflects growing optimism among conservation groups that some endangered Australian mammals may still recover if habitat protection and predator management continue over the long term. Yeah, so no more bushfires. Sounds good. Sounds like a good plan, Australia. I'm on board with that one. That's a good plan. No more burning your country down. I don't know if it was on purpose or if that was just with the California thing. Either way, enough fires is enough. So the rediscovery also demonstrates the growing importance of modern wildlife surveillance technology. Trail cameras now allow scientists to monitor remote landscapes continuously without disturbing sensitive species. Brief nighttime appearance. Yeah, there's another guy on YouTube who does this. He recently kind of took a break from making videos, but he does nighttime underwater ocean research videos where like he sets up a rig and it drops down off of the side of like I think it's a sailboat of some kind, like maybe a yacht or a two beam. I'm not sure, but it's he drops it down and then he gets video of it and sees what kind of creatures are there at like 2 a.m. at the bottom of the ocean in random places in the world. So for me, I like that kind of stuff. But this is the same idea of capturing something that's only at night, only once in a while, very rarely active, but still there actively engaging with the environment and still doing what it's always done, which is great. Researchers are expected to expand camera surveys in surrounding forest regions in an effort to determine how widespread the animal may still be. Yeah, believe the discovery could reduce extinction risks. For conservation experts, the existence of another possible population carries enormous value because it lowers the chances with a single disaster, or lowers the chances that a single disaster could wipe out the species entirely. Small isolated populations are especially vulnerable to disease outbreaks, predator attacks, and large-scale bushfires, all of which have intensified in Australia over recent decades. Expanding the number of known populations creates greater resilience for long-term survival. Another potential potoroo population is encouraging for the species' long-term survival as it reduces the risks of extinction by feral predators and by natural hazards like bushfires. Wrote in a Facebook post, the agency emphasized that every confirmed sighting provides researchers with more information about where conservation resources should be concentrated in the future. Jesus, that's a title. Scientists now hope the discovery can mark the beginning of a broader recovery story for the species. Surveys will likely continue across nearby forest systems to search for breeding groups and determine whether populations have remained hidden for years. For now, the brief trail camera footage stands as a rare and powerful reminder that even species believed lost from a region can sometimes survive quietly beyond human sight for decades. Where is that? Where is that? Oh, Indian Defense Review. Why is India covering Australian research news? Huh. Either way. Good article. But I don't know what this is supposed to be a picture of because I really don't see anything that even resembles it in here. It's like a Where's Waldo, but I don't see it. It's just a picture of nothing except nighttime. And then you go down to the video and there's the video of it, but I don't know. All right. Well, that's that. I am glad that it is getting better. I am glad that they're finding stuff, and I can't wait to see what other night camera footage comes out in the future. I mean, this is great for society and animals. I don't know. I enjoy it. All right. Thanks.